Angelina Jolie, a woman, an actress, a mother, a human being. In today's noisy world, some lives rise to the surface not just for fame or talent, but for their depth and enduring presence. Angelina Jolie is one of those rare individuals who, beyond the silver screen, introduced a soul that is luminous and searching. Her story is a blend of pain and love, fame and silence, power and kindness. A tale of a woman who, at every stage, rebuilt herself, never striving to be perfect, but always becoming an inspiration. Part 1, Born Between Shadows and Light. Angelina Jolie Voight was born on June 4, 1975, in Los Angeles, a city full of sparkle, yet sometimes empty of meaning. She was the daughter of famous actor Jon Voight and the gentle, artistic soul Marcellin Bertrand. From the beginning, her life was shaped between two different poles, her father's glamorous world and her mother's spiritual solitude. When she was just a year old, her parents separated. The absence of her father and the feeling of loss cast a shadow over her childhood. But her mother, with quiet strength and unconditional love, gave the world a new meaning. Angelina says, "My mother was silent, but her love had a voice that echoed in my heart." Her childhood was full of imagination, solitude, and curiosity. Alongside her brother James, she would spend hours in a world they created together. Her piercing eyes, even then, revealed a sensitive and seeking spirit. Part 2, The Birth of an Actress, Searching for Identity, Shining in the Spotlight. Adolescence for Angelina was, more than anything, an inner journey, a search for meaning, identity, and belonging. She entered the world of acting at a young age, but it was never just a profession. For her, it was a form of meditation, diving into wounds and emotions of unseen lives. Her early roles were in films like Hackers and Cyborg Too Modest, but she stood out. But in 1998, with Gia, portraying a troubled supermodel, critics were astounded. She immersed herself entirely in the role. Then came Girl, Interrupted, and her performance won her the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. For Angelina, acting was a chance to touch humanity. Each role became a mirror, helping her know herself more deeply. Part 3, From Fame to Service, Walking the Path of Humanity. At the peak of her fame, Angelina reached a moment of realization: the cameras weren't everything. Her 2001 trip to Sierra Leone as a UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador became a turning point in her life. In the eyes of war-affected children, she saw a truth that changed her forever. From then on, she visited refugee camps across the world. But she wasn't there for appearances. She listened, wrote, helped, and most importantly, became a platform for the voiceless. Along with Brad Pitt, she founded humanitarian organizations, built schools, opened clinics. She became a global face of peace and empathy. Part 4, Love, Motherhood, and Meaning, Creating a Global Family. Angelina and Brad Pitt became a couple that captured both cinema and hearts. But more important than their relationship was the family they built with love. Children from different countries and cultures, Maddox from Cambodia, Zahara from Ethiopia, Pax from Vietnam, and their biological children Shiloh, Knox, and Vivian. Angelina wanted to build a home where differences were not threats but treasures. She embraced motherhood fully, and in the arms of her children, she discovered a new meaning of love and belonging. Their home became a small world with a vast heart. Part 5, Courage in Silence, When Life Flows from Within. In 2013, Angelina made a decision that drew admiration worldwide. By publicly announcing her preventive double mastectomy, she showed that courage means confronting fears head-on. For millions of women, her decision was inspiring and life-saving. 2 years later, she underwent surgery to remove her ovaries to reduce cancer risk. Again, she chose health and awareness over appearance and societal norms. Through it all, she remained calm and wrote, "There is no fear in me. Only peace. My choice was for life." Part 6, Behind the Camera, Telling the Silent Stories. Directing became Angelina's way of giving voice to the unheard. In the Land of Blood and Honey, she portrayed the pain of war in Bosnia. In Unbroken, she recounted the real story of resilience of a war prisoner. And in First They Killed My Father, she brought the Cambodian genocide to the screen. Her films are full of meaningful silences, soft lighting, and deep human feeling. She didn't use cinema for entertainment but as a means of awakening and remembrance. Part 7, Divorce and Solitude, Yet Still Standing Strong. In 2016, news broke that deeply saddened many: Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were separating. A couple seen by many as a symbol of love and unity had reached the end of their journey. Angelina, with graceful restraint, simply stated, "This decision was made for the health of my family." She chose silence not because she had nothing to say, but because she knew noise deepens wounds. After the divorce, she rebuilt herself. Not by forgetting, but by embracing. She remained a mother, a humanitarian, a director. In an interview, she said, "Being strong doesn't always mean being heroic. Sometimes, it just means getting out of bed and breathing. It means saying, I'll keep going today." Once again, she showed the world that being a woman means being resilient to fall and rise again, gracefully. Minus. Part 8, Beauty Beyond Appearance, Angelina and the Meaning of Womanhood. In a world where appearance often defines worth, Angelina Jolie gave beauty a deeper meaning. Her features, full lips, intense eyes, flowing hair, were striking. But what made her truly captivating was the inner light she carried. A belief in herself, honesty in her gaze, and courage in her voice. She often criticized media that objectified women. She emphasized, being attractive is different from being seen. True power comes from the mind and heart. In recent years, she's been a strong advocate for women's rights. She spoke up for victims of sexual violence in conflict zones. In UN conferences, she didn't speak as a celebrity, but as a mother, a woman, a human being. And that became her most beautiful role of all. Minus. Part 9, Living with Awareness, From Cinema to Spirituality. Throughout her unpredictable path, Angelina never stopped seeking meaning. In Cambodia, she was introduced to Buddhist culture. There, she said, she first truly understood silence. She learned meditation and the awareness of each moment. She was always in conversation with herself, through writing, solitude, travel, conversations with her children. She once said, "I am an actress, but inside, I've always been a seeker of truth, of meaning, of peace." She tried to pass this worldview to her children. She taught them that humanity is the most sacred religion, and empathy the highest flag. Her home became a sanctuary of books, quiet moments, and soulful dialogues. In her private hours, away from the stage and camera, she would walk in the garden, cook with her children, read, or simply sit and reflect in gratitude. She would say, "Peace is something you return to, not something you search for outside." Minus. Part 10, A Living Legacy, Angelina's Influence Beyond Cinema. Angelina Jolie, beyond being a movie star, has become a global voice for justice, empathy, and human responsibility. Over more than 2 decades, she has earned not only film awards but also the respect of millions. More importantly, she has built a legacy that inspires generations to come. A woman who is independent, thoughtful, and deeply engaged with profound human issues. She showed that fame, when used consciously, can become a ladder to elevate collective awareness. Her name is now remembered not just as an actress or director, but as a symbol of integrity, courage, and mindful living. Minus. Part 11, Mother, Mentor, Companion, Her Role in the Lives of Her Children. For Angelina, parenting was not just a daily task, but a labor of love. She always emphasized that she loves her children not to shape them, but to understand them. In an interview, she said, "I didn't come to build them, I came to see them, to listen to them, and to be with them." Her children came from different backgrounds and cultures. She taught them to honor their roots and to look at the world with an open mind and heart. Their home is a blend of cultural celebrations, conversations, reading, and empathy. In her view, motherhood is not a role, but a lifestyle, unconditional love, listening, and giving children the freedom to be who they are. Minus. Part 12, Peace with Oneself, The Art of Living in Silence. In recent years, Angelina has turned more inward. Her presence in the media has diminished, but her life has become deeper and more meaningful. She no longer seeks validation, instead, she seeks to live. She reads, writes, engages with her humanitarian projects, and spends time with her children. Sometimes, she appears in interviews, but with a presence that comes from within, not to seek attention. She says, "Life must be heard. In its silence, in its simple moments, in a hot cup of tea on a rainy afternoon, or in the sudden laughter of a child." Her reflection on life is now more profound than ever before, embracing simplicity and contentment. She no longer rushes toward public attention, but rather seeks to grow, learn, and find peace in her own journey. She is not only a symbol of strength and courage but also a reminder that sometimes, true peace comes from embracing the quiet moments. Minus. Part 13, A Voice for Women, Angelina's Messages in a Time of Turmoil. In an era where women's rights are under constant threat across many parts of the world, Angelina remains a calm yet powerful voice. She speaks for women who have been silenced, for mothers in conflict, for daughters experiencing discrimination, and for those whose voices are still not heard. Through her speeches at the United Nations, in public addresses, and in her writings, she advocates for gender equality and human dignity. She speaks of women's strength not just in physical form, but as a powerful force of creation, understanding, and transformation. One of her famous quotes is, "Women are the pillars of life. When they bend, they still hold up the house." Her words transcend borders, cultures, and beliefs, encouraging women everywhere to believe in their worth and power. Angelina's activism has been a guiding light for countless women who find inspiration in her unyielding dedication to creating a better world. Part 14, Endings or Beginnings. Angelina as an eternal source of inspiration. Angelina Jolie's life is not defined by endings or single defining moments. Instead, each chapter is a new beginning. At her peak, she learned to be still. In times of crisis, she remained kind. In the face of fame, she stayed responsible. And in motherhood, she became whole, embracing all her flaws as part of her humanity. She taught us that being human is more important than being famous. That true strength lies in the quiet voice that speaks for justice. And that beauty is not in the face, but in the light that radiates from within. Angelina's life is full of difficult moments, big choices, and enduring inspirations. She may leave acting or become less visible, but the light she shared still shines in the hearts of millions of people who, by watching her, have found themselves once again.